Greetings, guys. I hope you're doing great and are taking good care of yourselves. I hope that you're enjoying your Easter weekend for those in countries that celebrate the Easter weekend. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a very simple way you can deploy your FastAPI application. We're going to be using a new service called the FastAPI Cloud, a service that is made by the same team behind FastAPI. I'm really excited to show you how to deploy because I've tried deploying a few simple, small things with it. And it is just so simple. In fact, what you get is the FastAPI new command, and with that, you bootstrap your project, write all your code, and with the FastAPI deploy command, you can then be good to go. You just have to have a FastAPI Cloud account set up, and you'll have your app deployed. Now, I joined the waitlist for this service very early. So I got my link for joining the service, setting up my account, and I did all that stuff. So what I'm going to be demonstrating is the steps that are required to deploy a very simple FastAPI application using the service. Without wasting your time, let us get into the video. So to start this video, I'm going to create a new folder or a new FastAPI project, and I'm going to be using UV to do that. In fact, it's recommended that you use UV to start your FastAPI project so that you can run UVX FastAPI new, which is going to create the project for you, install all the dependencies, and then give you instructions on how to deploy your simple cloud app. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and run the command UV. So that will show you that I have UV installed. If I run UVX, that is what I'm going to be using to run tools, including the FastAPI new command. So if I say UVX FastAPI new, and then I point to a folder called simple to do, this will create a folder called simple to do, install all the dependencies, and then basically have us up and running with FastAPI. So that will go ahead and install all our dependencies, create the virtual environment and everything. And then we shall see template files. So we shall have a default FastAPI app instance and one endpoint. We can run our FastAPI server by running UV FastAPI dev. So UV run FastAPI dev will have to run inside the folder in which we've created the app. So that's simple to do. If I run the command once again, we are now seeing that we are in position to run our FastAPI service and visit our localhost 8000. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to deploy our application. We have seen in our success message a command to help us run or deploy our simple FastAPI app. And the way to do that, if I run UV run FastAPI --help, we shall see some subcommands, including the FastAPI login, the FastAPI Cloud, the FastAPI deploy. So let's first of all log in into our FastAPI Cloud. To log in into our FastAPI Cloud, we have to run the command UV FastAPI or UV run FastAPI. And then I'll go ahead and say login. So what this command does is to log in into our FastAPI dashboard. It will open up our default browser, and then we'll enter our email and the password we set up when signing up to the service. So that will log us in and prompt us to authorize our device. So if I click authorize, I can now go to our dashboard, which looks like this. So this is where our apps will be listed. Now, when we go back to our terminal right here, we shall see that we are now logged in. So everything is working. And now the next command we're going to run is UV FastAPI deploy. Now, we do not have quite a lot of things, but what we have is a FastAPI app. And that FastAPI app is running. So if I go ahead and run UV run FastAPI deploy, our deployment is going to start, and now we shall be prompted to select the team in which we want to deploy to. So I'll choose the default Sally Jonathan team. Do you want to create a new app? Yes. What's the name of the app? I'll keep it to simple to do. the path to the directory containing the app. So you can point to source backend, basically pointing to where your app instance is located. But for now, I have it in the same folder in which our project has been created. So I'll leave empty. Does everything look right? I'll say yes, and then I start the deployment. So that will create our app, upload the files or our code, and then deploy our app. So what you see right here is sort of like containers building app, setting up everything, or basically an image being built on top of what we built. So this looks like Docker, where we are building the app, installing the dependencies, and then finally running our app. So ready the chicken, and then your app is available at this link. So if I click on this link, we're supposed to access our newly deployed FastAPI app. So now we see hello world. And if we navigate to, let's say, /docs, shall now see our Swagger UI with a simple root endpoint, which is to return our new message of hello world. So that's basically how it works. Now, the most interesting part is the CLI, but we can also look at the dashboard. So if I go back to the CLI right here, I can be able to UV run FastAPI Cloud and then -- help. So this will provide for us different subcommands that we can use to manage our app that is running on the FastAPI Cloud. So first of all, we want to go ahead and maybe check the logs to our app. So you can do that via UV run FastAPI Cloud, and then I'll say logs. So that is very important in case you are interested in seeing the logs of your application as it runs on the FastAPI Cloud. So we now see our app is running, and here are some of the requests we've so far made to our docs endpoint, and so on and so forth. So that is good. What else can we do with the FastAPI Cloud in the CLI? If I go back to -- help, we can now see link a local directory to an existing FastAPI Cloud app. I log into the FastAPI Cloud logs. Who am I? Unlink. So unlink by deleting the FastAPI Cloud directory. Set up CI. So this configures a GitHub Actions workflow for deploying the app on push to the specified branch, and so on and so forth. But you basically get that it is very easy to deploy on the FastAPI Cloud. So if I go back to the dashboard right here and click on our app, so inside our app is basically the link to the app, which is simple FastAPI to do .fastapi cloud.dev, and then the activity of our app. So it is live. We can also see the runtime logs of our app. So that's what we access via the UV run FastAPI Cloud logs command. And then we can set environment variables right here. So if you have DB URLs, or let's say API keys and all that, that's why you can set it up. We have storage. So there's no database connected right here, but you can also connect a database if you need one. So we have Supabase, Neon, and Redis Cloud, which is actually interesting. You can also create tokens that you can use in your CI/CD pipelines that will be useful in deploying your app if you're using such a workflow. So if you're using, let's say, GitHub Actions or any other CI/CD pipeline, you can create a token and use that to deploy your app to the FastAPI Cloud. Then in our settings, you have the region, which is US East 1, the application directory. So that's where you show the root endpoint or where your app instance is located. You can transfer apps to the team, to another team, or something of the sort, but this is when you have different teams located on your FastAPI dashboard, and then you can also delete the app. So there are very many things you can do, but for now you have integrations with databases like Redis and Postgres or Neon or Supabase Then you have things like accessing the Hugging Face AI models, but this is coming soon. So this is a service that is still new. Yeah, so I just thought I could show you a very simple way you can build your apps, and hopefully I'll make more videos on how to deploy our FastAPI applications with more complex setups with databases and services and things of that sort. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's how you deploy to the FastAPI Cloud. Now, what I've shown is a very simple application. Nothing complex was going on there, but I'm going to be making very many FastAPI videos, and I'll be using this to demonstrate how to deploy much more complicated apps with other services and things like background tasks and so on. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can leave me your questions, your comments, your concerns, and anything you may want down in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Have a nice weekend. Bye.